The general theme is how does it feel to be a hypocrite?
Right. Well, he sounds like a royal dirtbag.
I was wrong about something.
Magnificent! Magnificent! Magnificent!
If we can be with ourselves, if we can understand ourselves, we can love.
It's not my fault nobody can understand what you're saying.
Let's go while we're young.
3, 2, 1. Just introduce yourself and tell me what you ate for breakfast.
Hey, good morning. Matt here. Friday. Hey, really quick, make sure that you let me know you want the guest to appear on Monday. You're going to want to ask her some questions. She'll be real honest with you too. So think of some questions over the weekend. I'm not sure she'll say yes yet, but I'm going to work on it over the weekend here. And hopefully she'll agree to being on at least for a minute or two or maybe towards the end or something and answer some questions. So make sure that you do that. Send me a message, comment, whatever. Just, I think that, we all need encouragement, right? So please do that. I think it would be a lot of fun. It could be very, very interesting because she's very, very honest about answering questions. So at any rate, that's where we're at. Hey, hopefully the internet connection is good here. It's really, really, really cloudy and it's raining pretty good. So, hopefully that everything's coming through okay. But one of the biggest things that, these few days, I'm really being pretty personal about some of these things purposefully, because this is, maiden voyage, if you will, and just kind of testing some things out. And so I had I had a couple things on here to talk about while I was on location, and one of the things is personal decisions. I am an absolute believer that personal decisions, they determine and define our life, not the circumstances that happen to us or for us or however you want to word it. There's a lot of ways to word it, but I say very, very often that, our circumstances do not make us who we are. They reveal who we are. So what's really our character, what's really inside of us that can kind of unfold and unwrap everything around us that has happened in a way that we can look at it openly and honestly and really determine and define some of those things for our life. And so I don't have to do this. I don't have to talk to the students about my daughter's death and the things I've learned from it. I don't have to. None of us have to. And so many of you know, some of you don't. I drove up on the accident and not knowing that she was in an accident and not obviously knowing, well, let me just put it like this, not knowing as I come up over a hill, not knowing anything was happening. And then moments later, my life is completely changed. So people would call that fate or whatever. I don't believe that fate determines our life. I don't believe that it defines our life. It's the decisions that we make. Again, a lot of people say, well, let's even say gossip. People say, well, Josephine said this and that about Matt and whatever else. And so then I react in a way because of that gossip. No, we don't need to do those things. Our career don't define us. They shouldn't. We need to make a living. Everyone needs to do that in some fashion, whether you're a hunter gatherer out in the woods and you make your life that way. We have to fight and work and hustle to make these things happen in our lives so that we can literally eat. So career, whatever else, our parents, no matter what our age is, they don't define us and they don't determine what how our life turns out or anything like that. It's not our kids in my case, even where, obviously my kids are the biggest influencers and always have been since they were tiny in my life if they weren't. And what I mean by influence, that really changes the way we look at life. It really changes the way we look at just about everything and aspect and decisions that we make. But even our kids don't determine and define what that is and how that how our life is going to unfold. It is literally our personal decisions, the behind the scenes personal decisions that determine those things. And it's most certainly not our government. We have a lot of interesting fighting going on, and we all need to have our political opinions. I'm not saying that, and discussions for sure, but it doesn't define us and it shouldn't determine us and who we are. It definitely is something that exists, and it's something that we can make personal decisions based off of what is happening around us in our government. And I don't mean just my government in the United States, but anywhere around the world. And we can do things then to advocate, and peacefully advocate is really what I'm saying, to help people notice what might be going on or whatever. But the facts are that our personal decisions determine our life. It determines and defines the way it unfolds, no matter what. So that is a fact. It really, really is. The older I get, the more I understand that that's a fact, that our personal decisions completely determine and define our life. So if you're not happy with your life, and at some point or another, none of us are, remember that those personal decisions define your life. So with that said, hopefully you got facts in there. I know that I got a warning from StreamYard here as to what service I use, but they gave me a warning that they were having some difficulties connecting to some of the different outlets, if you will, I guess. So hopefully everything's working okay today. But on this Friday, we're going to give away, it's a Stay Positive week, basically. So we're going to give away another Stay Positive shirt. And here we go. Just Learning More off of YouTube is the winner. So I'm not sure who you are, but let's make sure we figure out how to connect here. I'll actually comment my email or something here on YouTube after this gets all posted in a little while, so that we can connect. So, hey, I appreciate everybody. Again, send me a message, put a comment in here about having this guest on Monday morning's show. I think that it would be an awful lot of fun to have her on the show. So I think that if we can give her some inspiration and motivation to do it, she might say yes. So I hope that y'all have a great weekend, and thanks a lot for all the messages and encouragement and even criticism, constructive criticism for sure. We'll see y'all on Monday morning. Have a great weekend.
You know what I just saw?
Who is this guy?
I call myself Podcast because of my podcast.
I have exorcised the demons. This house is clear.
So it's done.
It's done.